love is really simple.
Mhm.
Like love is so easy, but we make it
But just
so
know-
hard.
I'm him. It's really
We
that
here to serve a
simple.
purpose, bro. Like we here to do what our creator made us to do.
Welcome back to another episode of Never If Always Win. And then we back with a familiar face, Miss Isa, JB. In this episode, we're gonna go into detail about the love. I know y'all seen a list that all started from this lady going to a cheesecake factory. She said, I ain't going in there, because look at me. And the funny thing is, she wasn't even that cute. At least to me. And she said, I ain't going in there. So we just gonna go into detail. I'm gonna ask her a few questions, as a woman. Then we just gonna talk about it and see where it go from here. So my first question is, Miss Isa JB, are you susceptible to going to the Cheesecake Factory on the first date?
I would go to the Cheesecake Factory. I personally don't see anything wrong with it unless you just don't like their food or something like that. But as far as it, I guess not being top notch enough, or I mean, I don't mind. Me personally,
Right.
the whole list. I'm not gonna say, like some of the things.
You probably agree
I don't
with.
want to go to your family function or something on
Yeah,
the
I
first
agree
date.
with that
Like
one.
be trying to get some things, but we talk about just a regular restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
What's the big deal?
But I think that happens when people go into things for the wrong reasons, right?
True.
If the main thing about a relationship should be getting to know the person and decide if this is the person for your future.
Right.
It should be about nothing else.
Right.
But social media, you see all these other dudes taking this girl out, doing this, take her everywhere. He paying for this, paying for that. You think you just deserve that when it don't work like that, right? It just don't. Because now, like, even when the Russell Wilson, he rented out the Waffle House for her, and they was like, I wish it was more Russell Wilsons. It is though.
It is.
It's a Russell Wilson's 9 Russell Wilsons in your inbox right now. You just won't respond to it because you want Future.
9? Ain't that many.
Maybe not with the money. I'm talking about the way he would treat
you.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
The thoughtfulness, all that kind of stuff. It's a whole bunch of them kind of men. But we got a whole bunch of sexy reds who think they deserve Russell Wilson, in my opinion. Okay. And I don't think that is. I don't think those don't coexist, right?
Okay.
You can't be that type though. All out there talking about this openly and think a God-fearing millionaire man is going to want you.
Okay, understandable.
Right, it doesn't make sense, right? Because if he believes, like I said, if he believes in God, he's a Christian, he stands on those morals, values, and principles, he's going to look at you like, what are you doing? Mm-hmm. But the other dude that you claim you don't want, he going to look at you and eat it up because he loved it. They love that ratchet stuff. So you put that energy out there and then be mad when you attract that type of dude. Right. That's why I say it's hard for me I don't really want to blame nobody else for decisions I make or the partners I've been with in the past. It was all me.
I tolerated it.
Exactly. 100%. I put that out there that I was susceptible to this kind of person. Right. I didn't have my boundaries as high as they should have been. I didn't stand on what I should have stood on.
Or even if you had boundaries, you just didn't respect them, or you didn't honor them enough to to stand on them wholeheartedly. Exactly. That's something that I've dealt with as well. Like even just having boundaries, but not like you. One thing I don't like that us women do, all of us do,
just having a conversation.
We lower our standards because we like somebody, and you shouldn't do that. Right. If this is really the person that's gonna be in your future that you see alongside, like you see a partner, a lifetime partner with, you would have to lower your standards to allow them to stay in your life, because that means they're not putting in the effort to putting in enough effort to like keep you in their life. And it's just not. In the end, it hurts you because you don't stand on your boundaries, and then you just let them come in and take over and do what they want to do, and then you're gonna be resentful because you're not getting what you want out of it.
Mm-hmm. But I think a lot of people overestimate their value, though. And I know you're gonna make a frown at that, but I think we should be more realistic about certain things, right? And it starts with, I'm not talking about how somebody treats you. Okay. No, I'm saying do not change on that at all. Okay. But you also have to look at yourself in the mirror and say, what do I do wrong? What kind of issues do I have? Because a lot of people think they're not the problem at all. They think it's always their partner, not knowing you doing certain things to make this man or woman act this kind of way, and like, go ahead, rebuttal.
I mean, how can you make someone act?
No, I'm saying you cause them. You wonder why they don't do certain things for you. It's like that's why I say like if somebody not doing something for me, I have to look myself in the mirror, right? I listen.
Okay, I'm listening.
Because it's either they don't look at me in the light, I look at myself.
Okay.
So I need to leave.
Okay.
Or maybe I'm not what I look at myself as. It's probably the same. It's the first. It's probably the latter. The first time.
Okay, because I feel like in most situations, people just don't. The things that you want, they just aren't willing to give them to you, and it may not be because you don't deserve it, but it's just they don't want to give it to you.
Exactly.
And instead of us just walking away when you see that, we try to prove our worth more, or it's just not gonna happen. You end up hurting yourself, me included. You end up hurting yourself worse because you want to stay in a situation and you want them to get this to you, and you thinking you will sit around hoping one day it'll change. It won't.
You're right.
It's not gonna change.
But
okay,
go ahead.
Like you prove you want to prove your worth, but you don't have to prove that. Someone will automatically see that if they want you in their life. So I don't believe in proving your worth. Like, oh, maybe if I do this or if I do this different or if I change this, they might want to give me this or do this for me. 9 times out of 10, if they don't do it, it's just because they don't want to, not because they don't. You know.
I agree. So and I honestly, we say it all the time. Just be with people who like you. It's a simple concept.
It's so simple, but if we actually did it, so many problems would just
go away. Cease to exist. If you really just dealt with people who like you.
If they actually
not people you have history with.
Okay.
Not people you used to like. Not people you love.
People who lust after you.
Exactly. Not because you just scared. Not you scared because you don't want to talk to another dude.
Come on. Because you're scared to be alone.
Exactly.
Come on.
Talk and deal with people who like you. And a lot of your problems
they don't will work. A lot of y'all be in relationships with people who don't like it.
I've been there.
Listen, we all have.
Yep.
We all have. But if you just people who are like-minded, who view you in a light that's like, this is just a good person.
Like somebody that you admire, like I almost admire this person. Like you're in love with the idea of this person.
Yes, like you just adore them.
Exactly. That type of relationship. Because I know for a fact, and we had a discussion on the first episode we did, well, is it love or lust? 90% of the time that do not be the case. It be the sex.
They lust.
That right there. Y'all listen at each other. All y'all talk about is how good y'all gonna hunch. And don't have no other kind of conversation. You don't have
nothing else in common. You can't even talk to them about your tax return. They can't even tell you. They can't tell you nothing about a real life situation. They can't tell you nothing about anything except how good you make them feel under the cover. Help us. I'm telling you. You can't even, with 80% of people these days, you cannot have a civilized conversation about nothing. Except who took somebody man 3 weeks ago? Who's sleeping with who? Oh, they want to hunch on you. Or Christian and Blue. Everybody shut up. Everybody just be quiet.
But that's what comes with them small-minded, small brains. Like, you have to break out of that. Like, because, we just had this conversation. Well, of course, with money, resources, you have different access to different things. So, of course, you're going to be exposed to more. Because that's what a lot of people just lack, the lack of exposure. And, of course, we still haven't been exposed as much as we should have as well.
True.
But that lack of exposure plays such a huge part on your way of living life.
True.
Because all you seeing is a certain type of demographic. All you seeing is a certain type of this, that. So you think this is the norm. This is okay.
Right.
But with somebody who isn't living that type of life, and comes out and says, "No, this is wrong.
Right.
It's not the way it should go." Sometimes you get offended by it. Most people get offended by it instead of taking it into consideration and saying maybe they're all right.
Right.
Maybe I should look at them and see how their life is.
Or just being open.
To that and that only. People are just not open at all. They think they know everything. Right. Period. This is what it is, and this is what it's gonna be. That's a terrible mindset to have.
You cannot live like that. If we all live like that, it will be no growth.
No growth.
You would just be in one spot for the rest of your life. Just imagine that. and one way of thinking for the rest of your life. Not get some things are just like, you know, you gonna stand on what you like. Some of my beliefs, I'm just gonna stand on
1,000%.
But I can still listen to somebody in their belief or their perspective and be like, okay, I see why you look at it that way or whatever. But you know, some things I'm gonna stand on, and some things I'm just open to learning, and just because
we don't know everything.
You don't.
We haven't been exposed to everything.
You don't.
It's gonna be something in the future that we're gonna be exposed to that change our mind about something we think we stuck on.
Yeah.
And it's just the way it is. But like I said, if people use the social media and the internet for all the wrong things, it's the greatest time to be alive. Because you can learn anything. You can research anything. Everything is there for the taking, but you taking in low-level information, stuff that doesn't matter, stuff that doesn't benefit you in no kind of way, and you do this every single day, and you wonder why nothing changes at all. Like nothing. And I'm not even talking about. I'm not talking about money or none of that. I'm not talking about where you at. I'm talking about your personal life, like the type of people you're around, the type of conversations you have, the type of things that you like and that you gravitate towards. It says a lot about who you are as a person. That's what I said. I can't. So, because on the level I'm at now, the people I may have been cool with and hanging around, being in type of environments, being in this area, how can I say I'm this person and still being around the same kind of people? How? Because you haven't really grown. Because like I said, you learn things, but until you actually get tired of this thing right here and you actually want to do better, you'll just know it. There's a lot of things. Because of course, like on this journey, there's been a lot of things I knew were wrong. I was still doing them because I wasn't tired of it. I was still just doing it because I'm young. Use that excuse. Say I do it when I'm 23, 24. I get over it then, but you just got to do it then.
Right, because it's gonna follow you and hunt you till you.
Oh yeah. And you just be so mad about stuff.
I look at stuff now.
Oh my God! Don't even get me started.
Even a year ago, like, girl,
what were you doing? Disgusting.
What was I thinking?
But grateful for the experience and from learning from
now
it.
I know
exactly
stuff I would never tolerate again, stuff I would never do again, and it's just it was a learning experience, so I'm grateful for it all.
So and with that question, like it's always two ways. It's two ways to look at things, right? You can look at a bad experience and blame the person who did it to you and the whole world for it.
Right.
Or you can look at it from a different lens and say, what did I accept? What did I do wrong? How can I be better from it? And what can I learn from the experience, right?
It all starts with you.
Exactly.
You have to look at every single thing in your life and look at you first. Because I've been I ain't gonna say I've been a victim of that, but I have been a person to just look or just be like, oh, they did this to me, or this happened to me. Things, I saw this quote where it's like, things don't happen to you, things happen for you.
Yep.
So it's like, you can look at it like I'm just, oh, they did this to me, they hurt me, they took this from me, or what did you do? You saw the signs.
Right.
We all see the signs.
You do.
And you just choose to ignore it because
you like the person.
You like them, and I look back, I ain't gonna lie, I look back, I don't even think I look. A lot of the people, it was no love.
Right.
And you can say it was light, but then I got to the point where I just looked like, I don't even like you.
Yep.
Like, you just get on my nerve.
Bro, boy,
like,
don't even hear you.
Now I'm just about to.
Literally.
You just get on my nerve.
Literally annoying.
Like, what am I even doing here?
Annoying. Like, even you, everything about you, why was I even in that situation?
Like, what even drew me to you?
Yeah, it make you wonder.
It make you sit, and that's why it's so important to just sit and look at yourself. Like, you were drawn to this.
Exactly.
You accepted this. You put up with this for however much time. Stop blaming. Take the lesson and go.
Nobody's fault but yours.
Nobody's but yours.
And even with it, like that simple mindset shift of saying, instead of saying, why me? Why did this happen for me?
Yeah.
Why did this happen? What should I learn from it? Yes. What is God trying to teach me by putting me through this experience?
Right.
You will save yourself a lot of stress. Because a lot of times, I believe we're so depressed and anxious now because we think we take it so hard when people hurt us or when we go through something. We take it so hard. Instead of like analyzing the situation for what it really was, we just say, this person did me so wrong, so wrong, so wrong. And that's all you look at it as.
True. And as a woman, it's very hard for me to be logical instead of emotional. Because like my emotions take over, y'all. I'm not gonna lie. Like I'll know exactly what I did wrong in the situation, or how I went about a situation, or I stayed in something too long, or you know, I can see the signs, but still the emotional being in me, the emotional part of women, it's just like it wants you to just, because women are lovers by nature.
Exactly.
And so we are very emotional creatures. And so now I'm really having to like, I'm still emotional, but I'm having to sit and be like, okay, Ozzy, look at this with your brain and not your heart, because it's like I can see and analyze every single thing, every single step on where I went wrong. And I still be like, you know, I'm still sad about how it played out, but I know, you know, from a logical standpoint, why things had to happen the way they did, or, you know, it was just, it had to happen.
Right.
It had to happen for me. So when you get out of like your feelings and you really just sit and think logically.
But I don't want us to get too far away from our feelings either, right? Because we're emotional beings, right?
True.
Emotions are a part of us. Like, you should have emotions about a lot, majority of everything that you have emotions about. Right. The problem comes when you become emotional and you let your emotions control you, control your decisions. You make decisions out of anger or sadness and depression, and you do things that you wouldn't normally do. That's when the problem comes.
Sure.
Because how many people we know that were just angry in this moment? You can be angry in a moment, your whole life is gone just like that. You can be angry and shoot somebody at the wrong time, and your whole life is gone in a matter of seconds. And when you're angry, you ain't thinking about nothing. You just mad, right? You ready to do whatever.
Think straight.
That's probably the most negative emotion, being angry. Of course, because I feel like when you're sad about something, you reflect about a lot of things in your mind, and how you choose to reflect about them. You could just be mad at that person. That sadness could turn to anger towards that person, or that sadness could turn to gratefulness or happiness over time after you really learn.
It takes time.
Exactly, because even when you were in a situation, in the end, you might be sad from the beginning, but you might look at it from 3, 4, 5 months down the line and be so happy that you're not with that person no more. You just grateful that God took you out of this situation. I promise you.
Man.
That's why I say certain things that have happened that I was angry or mad about that happened. I'm so grateful for now because it saved me from a bunch of stuff that I didn't need in my life.
Right.
And ever since then, I've been in a much better place. So, like I said, even in that moment, I couldn't understand that, right?
True.
In that moment, you just angry, you sad, or whatever. But if you just give it time, don't fold. Just time is the best healer. Just give it time. Stay grounded, and eventually you might learn that was not for you in the first place.
Right.
In no way, shape, or form.
The lesson will pop out eventually. But like time, it's hard because for me, time is just because it's just like so made up, you know, like to the point where like time is just an illusion. So it's like everything takes time, but it's so hard for me to grasp that because it's like time is just it's time, you know. It's like you can't control it. Nope. Like it's just, and then like, you know, sadness in the moment, it's so big, like, you know, it just be weighing on you in that moment, you know. You just got to give it's hard. It's a hard process, but like, you know, you just have to get up every day, keep walking, keep praying, keep pushing through, because the lesson will pop out. Like you'll look back and you'll be like, some of the stuff I be sad about, I be looking back like what I thought was the end of the world. I look back and be like, what was that?
You overdid it.
Like, what was that? And then I go through something now, and I be like, okay, you gonna look back and be like, you know, this is nothing, because we soldiers, we out in the army. You gotta gotta keep going.
And but it's so profound just how a simple mindset shift or something so simple can change your whole life. Like simply just looking at things from a different lens. Somebody can go through the same exact thing all year, but that one person can be in 1,000% better headspace just because they simply look at it in a different way.
Right.
Like it's going from being a victim or having that scarcity mindset to having that growth mindset and being knowing that whatever happened, God is happening for a reason.
Everything.
And then looking at your part that you played and also and knowing that it might be so bad right now, but eventually I'm gonna come out of this. Having this mindset and knowing that eventually it can get bad as it won't. I can lose this, I can lose that, but I know God got me. I know
that's my motto. This too shall pass. Everything you have went through, you survived it. So you gonna get through this too. Like this too shall pass. That's one of my life mottos. Like no matter how it look right now, you know, it's gonna pass. He gonna pull you through all the time.
And even even for people who don't believe in God, it's like it's got to be something that you hold on to and gravitate to.
It's always something to cling on to.
Exactly, it is.
Always. And that's why, like, even in myself, I've been dealing with this, like, this year in love because, like, I'm single. And so, like, me being alone, sometimes I be wanting affection. I be wanting, like, something to cling on to or love or nurture. But I have to find other hobbies in my life or other, not even just romantic relationships, but platonic relationships. Like, I have built my relationship with my mom, my sister, with my cousins, with my friends. Like, I'm building all these other relationships and pouring into them. And so it's like, I can cling on to that instead of just me, man, I got to find a man. I got to, like, just let God naturally gravitate them to you, and you pour into, have something else to cling on to. Like, I remember we talked about this, like, it's always, people be saying, I'm never going to love again. You will. Even if it's just, listen, even if it's just a burger, you're going to fall in love with something. Like, one day, a year from now, you're going to be like, this is the best burger I ever had in my life.
I never thought about
it.
Like,
but it's like, it's always something to look forward to. It's always something to.
1,000%.
Every time.
Being alive is something to look forward to. Like I said, we're not grateful for nothing because a lot of things happen just every day, so we don't thank it. We ain't thankful for it. Like I saw something like you don't value breathing until you got a stuffed nose. You don't think nothing of it. You just breathe until your nose stuff. Oh God! Now I say it in my head sometimes, like, oh, my sinus is bad. I got a mean headache. I don't value not having a headache,
right?
Because it's a lot of things like that in life that we have. Family.
We don't even know. Like,
bro, you have a family. You have a roof over your head. Even if you have a car, you have a job. You have a lot to be grateful for. But all we do is focus on what we don't have.
And I had a reality check with that too, because like my mom moved, like my family moved to Texas. So I'm like, man, I'm here. I really don't have a family that I could just. I ain't gonna say I don't have a family I could just pull up on, but they like an hour and almost 2 hours away. But God really dealt me with, like, you can still call your mama. Some people cannot call their mama daddy gone, or they just don't know their mama. They don't have this relationship. So it's always a different way to look at something. Like, yeah, you may not be able to just pull up on her on a drop of a dime, but you can still call her. You can still hear her voice. You can still tell your mama you love her. So that's why it's like I had to have a reality check with myself, because it's like we take for granted little things,
1,000%.
But it's always something to be grateful for. No matter what, I don't care how we look. It's always something to be grateful for.
1,000%. And I, like I said, and it's with that social media thing where we always compete and comparing ourselves with other people. And bro, I promise, because like I used to be on that wave, bro. I ain't got no money, bro. I gotta get the money, but I realized, bro, I have so much that other people don't have. I'm black. I have an active father. I have my father in my life. So many people do not have that, period. And and it's time. Of course, I have it like in the back of my head. I'm like, I know that I should be grateful for that, but I don't be like, it don't hit me every single day that I should be grateful that I have a dad. It's just normal to me. So, and it's a lot of things that's just like I said, just normal to us that we're not grateful for. But all we do is focus on what we simply do not have.
So it's gone.
We ain't got this $1 million house. We ain't got the girlfriend we might want this time.
Yeah.
We ain't got this. We ain't got this big family. We ain't got the pool in the backyard, the dog, all that kind of stuff. But when you focus on that and you never really grateful for what you do have, you will never get nothing, period.
Stop looking.
Because first of all, you won't be in the right headspace to ever get what you don't have.
Looking at lack.
Exactly.
You never looking at abundance.
That's it. Ever. You always focusing on what you lack instead of what you have.
Yes.
And that's why I feel like as a people, black people, we've been like that for so long, right? Because we didn't have nothing, period.
Right.
We went through slavery, we didn't have nothing, period. So now I think we focus more on trying to show that we have than actually having. Like, to actually being something, we try to show and stunt on other people that we got it and y'all don't. Instead of
social media, I just can't take it. It's like you trying to prove to people
you do not know.
You don't know, or they don't know. They wouldn't know if you were dead or alive if you didn't post.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all don't know. I'm talking about people in different states you've never met. You trying to get on here and stunt for people, and for what? At the price of what? Like, I get certain stuff. Yeah, social media can be a good tool, but it's like at other times you just getting on here just to make your life seem so much better than what it is. Just look around and be grateful. You don't have to do all this extra shit. You getting on here, you getting up every day trying to. I just don't understand. You on Facebook all day
putting on an image that's not really how life is. Because like I said, We do it all the time. We focus more on trying to look like something to everybody instead of actually doing the work to be something. Instead of actually looking at your problems and issues and like, hey, I need to fix this. You would rather go on Facebook and talk like you got it. For who? For what?
For what? They don't matter.
But
no one can. I want everybody to understand that nobody on the internet can.
And it's but people also, we also have to be honest. People value other people's opinions. Some people just value them too much.
True.
Some people value other people's opinions over their own, and that's when the problem come in.
And I think people need to actually distinguish, like sit down and establish who opinions matter.
Oh my, that too, because a lot of times when people got time and energy to talk on Facebook, they don't have nothing going on. Period. One of my favorite quotes ever is, "You're doing it wrong," said by someone not doing nothing at all.
Right.
You ain't doing nothing at all. That's why you got time to get over here and talk about me.
Somebody else.
You got all the time in the world to go and say, he ain't doing this, he broke, he that.
Doers not talking about doers.
At all.
Come on.
Doers ain't talking about doers.
Come on.
Doers praising doers. They saying keep going. No matter how bad you look when you start. No matter how bad you suck. You can be the worst at it when you start. But people respect people who doing something. They respect people who doing something.
Nothing is a walk in the park.
Exactly.
I don't care what nobody tell you. Nothing. You sitting out here trying to build generational wealth and actually build a life for yourself in this economy.
That's hard.
Nothing is a walk in the park.
Extremely hard.
Keep going. You got to tune out all the outside noise, because people sitting around talking about somebody else, they could show you $1,000. Mm-hmm. And let's just be honest, $1,000
ain't nothing. And the funny thing is, and the funny thing is, Drake had it in a verse when he was talking about he used to read through comments and because he at this time and think about it, he at this point in life,
right,
and he's still going through reading other comments,
right.
And a lot of times he said, I don't remember exactly how the verse goes. He would say like 13-year-old kids just going through talking or to match they other issues that they got.
Right.
They just coming at him all these kind of ways. Really, because a lot of people talk down on people to make themselves feel bad about themselves. 1,000%. If you on Facebook or on this app and you going at people, attacking people in their comments, it's making you feel good to demean and talk about this other person. But why are we like that?
Yeah.
I know why, because it's trauma. But still, when are we going to say this ain't right? We have issues that we need to fix instead of just saying this is just how things are. It's just how things are. I don't like that. I don't like that things just have to be how they are when you can fix it. Together though.
But some people don't notice it's a problem.
You right about that.
Like they don't know it's something to fix, and then if you tell them it's a problem,
they get offended.
This ain't no yeah.
They get offended instead of being open to change.
Being open.
They closed-minded. It's so arrogant. I don't understand.
I don't like it.
How can you be that arrogant?
I don't like it. I don't like it.
I don't either. I like
you think you just know billions. I'm talking about billions of people on this earth, billions of different ideas, concepts.
Yep. And you think can't nobody tell you nothing.
Okay.
You ain't my daddy. You can't tell me nothing. That is the worst mindset to have. I'm down to listen to a homeless person. If the information right, I can listen and discern from it and see if it's right after he tell me. But I can listen.
You can learn a lot from somebody.
1,000%. I can listen to them. I can listen to them. I'm not better than nobody.
Right.
Like I said, it's just certain things that another big difference is people who advance and who doing better, like mentally, is knowing that you don't have it all together, knowing that you're not right all the time, knowing that you have flaws and issues that you accept and you're willing to work on instead of thinking. Because when you want to have this image or bravado that you just got everything all together, you try to do things to keep up that image.
Right.
You do things that put you in financial binds. You start buying cars to make it look like you got it all, knowing you don't, just to look like you got it all. To people who don't.
I saw this TikTok where a dude was like, you on social media trying to compare yourself. This what got me. And like you trying to compare yourself to Big Booty Mari _23, but Big Booty Mari behind on 2-car payment. She about to lose her house. Like for real, yeah. For real.
The name got me.
Yeah.
Oh my
Big Booty Mari about to lose her car and her house. Cause she somewhere in Ruth Chris. Or she ain't in the Cheesecake Factory.
Bro, people do not be living their real life on social media. They don't tell the truth.
It's a facade. Stop comparing your life to social. And I know it's hard because I've been a victim.
We all do.
But please just get off all these unrealistic living expectations and these expectations of people, and everybody stop. I've had enough.
Me and you both. I'm at a point where I'm sick and tired of social media.
Like, we're not talking about nothing but the 50-50. You don't want to go to Applebee's.
Oh my God. But I'm sick and tired.
You be at Witness every day getting a 4 for $4, but you too good for Applebee's. Come on now.
That's another thing. Ain't nobody asking you on no date, but you say you won't go nowhere. Of course not. Ain't nobody asking you. Ain't nobody asking you, period. But you saying, but that's another thing. And I saw a pastor talking about this. He was like, your list or the things that you gotta have maybe keeping you from your blessing. Because a lot of times, all the time, nobody ever comes exactly in this package deal exactly how you want to. You gotta work to that point, especially when you young. This dude not finna have this right. He not finna have 100. He not finna be making a $20 million a year, and he 20. Bro, you haven't even found out what you really want to do yet. Right. You haven't grown into the person you're going to grow yet. But people don't want to build. They don't want to build. They just want everything perfect.
Constantly changing, right?
They want everything perfect.
And when you really think about that, like as a human, you constantly changing. Think about people who've been married 20, 30, 40 years.
They grow together.
They married with the same person they was with when they was 25. No, they're completely different people. So I'm saying it's always a work in progress with a person you constantly building. And I think people they don't get that point. Like love is a process.
You want to know why? Because we got a whole bunch of single people talking and no married people.
Yeah.
Married people don't come out and say, "Hey," it's a few, but also you got to understand it's way more single people than married people. So these single people have all these opinions. They talk about, and you got both sides, men and women, talking about how women so terrible, men so terrible. Instead of dealing with somebody who's aligned with your values, morals, who's like this. That's why the social media point where you just saying, "Oh, women, well, bro, find somebody who like you, dude. Find somebody who
somebody you like.
Exactly, and find somebody who aligns with what you align with." Yeah. I know it may be hard, but arguing about it on social media changes nothing. It does nothing for you. It does nothing for the person you arguing with.
Right.
But get out in the field and first off, bettering yourself, because a lot of times you don't get what you want because you want certain things, but you're not fit for that person you want.
Yeah.
A bar.
Okay. That's
real talk. Okay. You're not fit for that person you want, but you think you deserve it in this that moment. And a lot of times when you get that person,
that's how you fumble it.
Exactly. When you get that person and they like, "Hey, you need to change this," and a lot of times people will talk to you. They want to grow with you. Because people don't just up and leave people they're in love with. They give them chances, and when you stop and you stagnate and you don't grow, that's when it goes.
I understand. I agree to a certain extent, but some people don't have Okay, I agree that everyone has things that they need to work on, but I feel like when you bring that up to your partner, it shouldn't be brought to them in a demeaning way.
100%, 1000%.
You just need to change this.
That's too much.
Come on, like, and a lot of times that is how people bring it to their partners instead of actually being gentle or being thoughtful. Because I feel like if you just sit here, you telling me I need to change this and this and this, and nothing about you is ever wrong, it's a problem.
Right. That's what I said. That's when with no accountability, right? Yeah. That's when the problem comes in. People think everybody else is the problem, but that's how we grow up, though. When you in school, your mama, a lot of people, mama tell them when the teacher come tell them their child acting up, my child ain't doing that. My child ain't doing this. So when you grow up in an environment where there's no accountability present, when your mama wrong about something, she don't apologize to you.
True.
She just tell you to keep on moving. You think you do the same thing when you grow up.
Right.
I don't think people realize just how much our childhood plays on every single thing in our life. It affects everything.
Every single thing.
Everything. The way you grew up, what you were surrounded by, the type of relationships you had with your parents, all that will reflect in your relationship.
All of it.
And if you don't do the work, it will stay that way.
Yes. And like I said, like I was telling you, like a lot of things in my childhood have made themselves present in my current life.
Me and you both.
And so it's like I'm aware of it, and I actually do the work. I put in the work, and I know if someone is bringing out a part of me that's being triggered, like my inner child is being triggered, I know you just need to
get away.
But also, and then like you said, God could be bringing them to me, triggering this certain type of thing because it's something that I need to master.
Exactly.
So it's two different ways to look at it, but at the same time, it's like I'm completely aware of what I need to work on from my childhood. This was triggering me. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of people don't even know. It'll be some, I can't even think of an example, but it can be something from their childhood that just really triggers them with every single person that they encounter. And they don't even know it's a problem. They thinking it's just always the people when it's something that you need to work on.
Exactly. It is something about you that keeps you gravitating towards these type of people.
Talk about it.
Like you'll sit there and you keep asking, why God keep doing this to me? Why God keep running to this same kind of person? Until you actually look in the mirror and say, what about me? Keeps making this type of dude or type of woman come towards me.
Come on.
What am I giving off? What do I need to fix? And I need to fix it right now.
Come on. Right? Because this all one and another. All right, everybody stay back.
But until you look at it that way, until you're aware of it, and you actually nothing will ever change. You'll keep running to the same type of dude. You'll keep blaming that dude instead of yourself.
Constantly.
That's why I say it's always something you can do better. It's always a way that you could have done better. Regardless if I'm not, because you were never perfect, but regardless, you did a whole bunch of things right, and this person just dogs you the worst kind of way. It was something that you ignored. It was something that was there to show that you shouldn't be in there.
Right.
That's why I say I don't believe that. You know how some people say, oh, they put on a facade, they did all this until this happened. And I know some people are very good actors. Mm-hmm. Some people are very good at what they do. Some people are very good manipulators, especially men, I'll admit.
Okay.
But something was there. Something was. Maybe you weren't looking for it, maybe you weren't looking for it, or maybe you just overlooked it. Because like I said, you like this dude this much. He seemed like he this type of dude. But at some point, it's got to be, like, evaluate the people you're dealing with. Like, if I'm dealing with somebody, and even if I'm in a certain place and I'm trying to grow to a certain place and they're not trying to grow with me, that's hard. You got to look at them and be like, you have to grow with me. If not, I'll outgrow you, and I'll eventually have to. Just like with friends, you have to eventually grow out of this person that you're in love with, and it's gonna be a hard thing to do. It is.
Because we are constantly changing. I don't think people understand that we are constantly.
That's why I don't like when
becoming new creatures every day.
I don't like when people say you changed on me. We're supposed to.
You're supposed to.
Exactly, but continue.
Shame on you for saying the same. Like your mind is supposed to evolve every day. So it's like, of course, I've been exposed to plenty different environments in my life, like a lot with all different types of people, all different type of mindsets, backgrounds, and it's like I've found more people to gravitate to instead of just the people that I've known all my life. And it seemed like a lot of people's mindsets or who they're becoming, it's just not fitting of the person that I am now, or who I'm becoming, or who I'm like the things I'm gravitating to or working for. And it's like, and it's no beef, like, no disrespect or no beef or anything, like, but if our minds are not, or our values are not aligning still as we grow into different people, what's the point of just constantly trying to force someone in your life and it's not aligning anymore? And
I feel like a lot of people hold themselves back by doing it.
Right.
They hold themselves back from their true calling and where they actually going by trying to stick with this, trying to pull this person up with them.
Right.
When that person not willing to. They not willing to.
Everybody can't go.
Exactly.
That's and Chull, you said that. He still says it. And it never really registered. Like, I'd be like, yeah, that's true.
He did say that all the time. Bro,
everybody can't go. But until I actually sat this year and was just like, the people that I've known, or like people that I've been with all my life, or the people who I just hold so dear to my heart, it's like the connection I'm feeling with them, it's just not there. Like, everybody cannot go with you on where you're going. If they not, like, if y'all don't have the same like-mindedness to go to the same place or to have the same vision, they can't go.
Right.
That's so real.
Yep. And it is. And when it hits you, be like, dang.
Yeah.
I really got to do that, but it's necessary. So when, how I say this? Because, like, I know you've experienced it. We've all experienced, like, maybe even recently. We might have even experienced something when we were even younger, where we was going through something. We didn't really realize exactly what it was, but we was growing into this type of person. We started liking this type of thing, and we start naturally. That's what I'm saying. Like, even when you're young, you start naturally gravitating toward a different crowd, and you don't even notice that you're just growing and you're growing away from this person. But just look at it. Maybe we're in different environments now. We went to school and they didn't, but it may just be that. Like, you grew all the way up here. You grew up here physically, all this, and they just didn't go with you, and you wonder why y'all don't talk no more.
Right.
And you will say, oh, we don't talk no more because of this, because of that. But really,
it's just y'all.
Exactly. Y'all not meant to be
not like-minded anymore.
Exactly.
Minds change.
1,000%.
They should.
Oh, yeah.
But,
we got people, like you said, people who stuck in that same spot, know everything. I find that hard to do. Like, I'm every day, I'm looking at something. I tell myself in my head, you should do this better. It's something that I'm looking at. I'm like, I need to work on it. I need to do this better. I need to focus on this right here better. I need to stop eating this fast food BS. Even though, like I said, and it's expensive, first off, to eat well, and then to cook, to meal prep, all this kind of stuff. But but it's a lot of things people know, but they just will not change. Mm-hmm. Like it's some people who know things they do are wrong, but they just saying, I'm me.
Yeah.
It's part of me. I'm just gonna keep doing it. I can't subscribe to that. And I know I can't really be around nobody who subscribes to that as well. Right. Like, well, you have an issue, but this is just me. Mm-hmm. Like, we have, in the black community, parents, I know people who parents or got old elders who say, this is how it was done, this me, I'm too old to change.
Yeah.
Oh, my.
Stuck in their
ways. And know that it's an issue. Know that it's wrong.
Right.
But saying, and so what?
Passing it on.
We passing a whole bunch of generational curses down. And we don't even realize them. And me and Marco was saying, like, once you're that person who's trying to change the generational curse, they don't mess with, they don't rock with you the same. They say you changed up. Mm-hmm. You acting different now. You think you whitewash, you bougie.
Yeah. And it's a lot to be that person too. Like, it's a lot of pressure on that person. When you breaking away from the normal and you breaking away from, like, the culture or whatever. But I ain't gonna say you breaking away from the culture.
No. Keep going. I got a question after you finish.
It's just all about environment. I don't think people really understand, like, all about environment. Like, you can see something in this environment and then you go over here to this and it's a completely same group of black people, probably, you feel me?
Mm-hmm.
But they probably grew up a different type of way, or their parents probably told them something else different, or, like, now that I'm working with people who we making money, we all came from college, the conversations are so different.
Very.
I just want everybody
to be on that same
time. Shut up about Christian. Shut up about the 50-50. Shut up about Applebee's and Cheesecake Factory
and that's why
everybody go fly the tax return.
But that's why I started my podcast to make it normal for us to have these kind of conversations. Because I know I've been in them same environments. We don't talk about number BS.
Right.
I've been there, and it bothers me now.
Right.
Like even then, I didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know.
Yeah, you don't know. So
I'm just growing. Exactly. I'm just exposure.
Right.
That limited exposure. We're just not exposed to much. But I say it all the time. It's no excuse with this social media era. You got to analyze yourself and say, what issues do I have? How can I fix it? What type of people do I need to be around? What type of people should I look for information from?
Right.
But what you was just talking about with the culture, what is black culture? Right? Mm-hmm. Besides music we don't own. That every CEO, except the one who run every CEO is white, pushing the type of music. And the sports, we don't own sports.
Right.
It's all white people at the top. What do we actually own besides trauma? Really? That's it. When you really think about it, we own a whole bunch of unhinged, unchecked trauma that we're not doing nothing about. We're not fixing. Right. We blaming everybody else for it. It's everybody else's fault for the way we are with the way we are. Instead of saying, hey, slavery went down, redlining went down, the civil rights movement went down. But we can fix this together. We can come together as a people. We can say, hey, we know this happened, but what are we going to do to fix it?
Right.
We can't keep complaining. We got to become solution-based. We got to look at ourselves in the mirror and say, hey, we're going to do this. We're going to fix this. We're going to get this right. We know it's messed up, but we don't even acknowledge that it is.
True.
We just say, this is us, this black culture, this culture. But what is it? Truthfully, what is it?
I can't even tell you.
When you really ask that question, we always talk about the culture. What is the culture?
Yeah.
Because 99% of things that we hold dear to us in the culture, we don't own. We don't own ownership of.
So true.
We can't push it. We can't change the narrative in it.
That's so true.
Everybody at the top is somebody of a different descent.
That's so true. I didn't even think about that.
So what's the culture?
I did not even think about that.
Something to think about. I didn't either until I actually started listening to people, listening to people who are in different spaces who are asking them same questions. Mm-hmm. Like people in the podcasting space or people in the music space talking about how these record labels are doing them the worst kind of way.
Right.
The worst way.
The industry is
terrible. Acting and black actors getting did the worst way, and it's terrible. Yeah. But we don't talk about it. We just talk about the culture. We just talk about Denzel this, Denzel the best. But why are we not putting black people in them positions? Why are we not fighting to be in them positions? You see, and of course, let me not say we don't fight for things. We only fight for something when it's like when somebody gets shot.
Yeah, on the media.
Well, yeah, when it's something we feel like we don't fight against really too much against systematic racism. It got to be something that pop in your face. We ignore the systematic things. It got to be something that's directly in your face where you can't miss it. Yeah. Well, a white cop shoot a black dude. It got to be something like that. But the stuff that's actually systematic and stuff that affecting more than just one person, more than just this one person who got shot in this moment, and it's affecting all of us, period. Mm-hmm. We don't really attack it because we don't see it as an issue.
True.
We don't know it's an issue.
True.
But we got to start talking about it. They're not going to put that in your face.
They're not going to put that in your face.
They're not. They're going to put it in your face that you're still a victim.
Yeah.
That these white cops still got power over you. Mm-hmm. So it make you angry. That's what they try to drive us off anger and push us into these positions where we do things that we wouldn't normally do, and we start rioting and rioting when you tearing up your own city. Go tear up the white city in the neighborhood. Maybe that'll be a little different. That's when they really respect you. But you just tearing up your own city. Yeah. It don't really do no different for you. Go tear up the Gucci store. Don't go tear up no black-owned stores in your neighborhood.
I agree.
They do all the wrong. Go tear up something that actually matter to these people. Right. Go tear up stuff like that. So that's why they don't.
But then people with these big names, and all they got to do is file an insurance claim. Really.
True. Exactly. Right.
So it's like, what can we really?
It's got to be.
What can we really do?
It's got to be. Racism was done systematic, so we got to beat it systematically. Yeah. We got to come together, build a system. Together. It can't be one person. It can't be 100 people. It got to be everybody on the same page. But we so quick to compete with each other. We so quick to talk down on each other. We don't do that
against each other.
And we don't do that to white people at all. You will say some crazy stuff to a nigga, but you get around a white person, you respectful. Right. That what burns me so much. You be all kind of ways around somebody who look like you, but you get around them, you this most respectful, humble human being. Why? Why do we look at them? Because we say, like I said, you say we this, we that, but you look at them higher than you. You start acting a little different when you get around them. Why? Instead of saying you either be one or the other, you either act this way around everybody, humble, respectful, or you act this way like you do around other people. And I understand where it comes from because, like I said, it's been all through our life we've been looked at as below them, and in the back of our mind, it's still there, regardless if we think it's not or not. It's still there. But until we actually come together and say, hey, this is not what it's gonna be no more. We're not gonna be the bottom of the totem pole. We're gonna come together and we're gonna fix everything, every issue, every problem, and we're gonna try our hardest to do it instead of saying, I get some money, I'm ready to stun on every other nigga. You ain't stunning no white people. You stunning on niggas. You saying y'all niggas broke. You ain't saying, man, these white people broke. You saying y'all niggas broke. Y'all niggas ain't got nothing going for you. Y'all B-words ain't got nothing going for you. Why is it that we so far in competition with each other when the whole time they in competition versus us? Right. They even me and my dad said all the time, the Republicans or white people who don't really like it. Only time they really get where they going against each other is Republicans and Democrats. Mm-hmm. But if not, you will never know they have an issue with each other. They will never broadcast that I don't like this dude or this or that. They will keep it in the house. They won't ever go against their own for your amusement, for you to see. But we do it every single day, and it burns me now. Like it didn't bother me. I didn't really pay too much attention to it at first, so it didn't really bother me. But now it burns me that we do that to each other. Yeah. I really don't like it, but that's the culture. That's the culture. That's black culture. That's what we praise and love so much, black culture. But what really is it?
Yeah. A good question.
We'll end it on that note. Thank y'all for watching.